Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Britton and welcome back to yet another Abyssal Legendary Hero Battle. Today we're taking down Legendary Lyn, getting these kind of golden spring bunny ears that, I don't know if I'll even use them to be honest, but, yeah, this map, it gave me a lot of problems the first time it came around, and on its rerun, it, kind of gave me the same issues, but I did manage to figure out a solution for this, so we'll be taking a look at that. Just looking at this, the terrain is, as always, kind of an issue, and oddly enough, I had more trouble with this one and it's kind of like river and bridges and stuff than I did with like Legendary Erica's, where we had just walls. Even though you'd think that the walls would be more of a problem for my flyers than anything, well, here the problem wasn't necessarily this river and everything. Well, that was fine for like my flyers, but it caused a big problem for Soleil and Klein in getting their positioning right. And the biggest thing was actually this mountain here in the corner, because I kept getting pushed up against it, and it was like I could survive if I could just put Klein on that mountain, but guess what? He's infantry, so he has an irrational fear of mountain climbing or something. But in addition to that, as always, the artificial difficulty on this map comes from a barrage of reinforcements. On this one, a lot of cavalry units that are just going to come and make my day very, very annoying. There's like 2 bow cavaliers and then also a red mage cavalier, and they just cover this map so fast it's not fun. And then Lyn herself, also being an archer, kind of messes with my units. And I am getting to this map a little later, only 3 days left, so I mean that's still a decent amount of time, but it did make me kind of worried, so I kind of got impatient and I didn't test other builds as much for this one. So we're just running Blade Tome again. Boring, but it works, and it helps with all these reinforcements that just keep running, and it helps us keep up with them, especially since these ones trigger by the turn as opposed to when certain enemies are killed, making it a little more annoying for me. Notably, I did actually swap out Morgan's ploys. She's running drive speed and drive attack for more general teammate support, help them get the kills that they need when Morgan has already attacked. And also the enemies are just coming from so many different places that landing ploys on specific targets kind of hard, especially since I'm confined to such a small space. Camilla, again, running her Blade Tome support setup, but with Iote Shield, she does need to tank an archer at one specific point. It's probably the most important part of the map for her, aside from just being a buff bot for Morgan. Soleil, running her Steady Breath Aether setup, but she is running Speed Refined Armor Smasher. Well, I tried running Slaying Edge, and the combination of her cooldown count going down too fast and trying to swap to like a Def Refine or a Res Refine caused the AI to go in weird positions that were unfavorable. But running Armor Smasher with a Speed Refine specifically, not a Defense Refine, caused them to go just in the right position to line up some kills. And that was a headache to figure out. But so that's the reason for that. It also helps with the armor at the end of the map, but I don't think it was honestly necessary, since we could have just kind of pinged him from long range. But it's more for just manipulating the AI. I need to give her like a Wo Dao or something, honestly, so that she can still run powerful specials and get specific refined stats without having to necessarily run Slaying Edge and give us better manipulation of cooldown, but still have something more useful than a Slaying Edge or an Armor Smasher. And then finally, Best Boy Klein, running his Brave Bow setup with Light or Lance Breaker to help with some of these more bulky flyers, because some of them have like IOT shield, and even the ones that don't are still pretty hefty. Other than that, he's got his team support stuff. But anyway, let's get into this. As always, I've rambled far too much on this intro, but yeah. So we're going to take down Lynn. Alright, and first, there we go. Alright, so, first things first, get everyone in position, get our lovely buffs on Morgan, and first instinct is to come down here and attack this sword fighter, but honestly, he's not really a threat right now. But this Lance Knight, it's going to take him a while, but he does eventually catch up to us, since we're kind of just in this kind of square over here for most of the battle. And if he does catch up to us, he will take out pretty much anyone by that point, since my whole team will be roughed up. So we want to just start getting him off the map ASAP. He has wary fighters, so we can't one round him, even though we outspeed him handily. He is running Res Refined Harmonic Lance and Distant Defense. So he's actually fairly bulky magically, so he takes a hit from our Blade Tome, and also he's got 99 HP, which is definitely helping things for him. But now we'll just move Morgan out of the way and just move everyone up. As always, we want to keep Morgan glued to Camilla's side, so we don't want to just draw her back or anything. We want to keep that positioning. And I did consider, I was thinking about trying like Lance Breaker on Morgan to one round this guy, so that we'd be able to take out the Sword Cavalier or something instead, but I do need Desperation for some of these archers later on. So that wasn't a thing I could do. But again, even though I want to take out this Sword Cavalier, we're just going to have Morgan finish off the Lance Knight. Doesn't pose an immediate threat, but he becomes an issue later on in the map. And next we're going to have Camilla come up here and have Klein draw her back. And then Soleil is going to reposition Morgan backwards so that she ends up next to Camilla and Klein for the buffs. And Soleil can get into position to tank. She's going to first get a little cooldown reduction from this Bow Cavalier, take some damage, take some splash damage. Now the Sword Cavalier is going to come up, almost take her down, but not quite able to, and then we recharge off of him. Didn't get quite up to full, but still good enough for now. Alright, now Morgan's fully buffed and in desperation range, so we can just take out this Bow Cavalier before he becomes any more of an issue than he already is. Get him out of here. And we're gonna have Klein move her out of the way so that she's able to get repositioned by Camilla, get out of the way of Lynn. Like I said, I did try a few builds before just giving up and kind of going to Blade Tome. And I was trying to do Blar Serpent and IOT Shield, running basically IOT Shield on Camilla and Morgan, and even like a Bow Breaker on Klein for the Colorless Cavalry, or the Bow Cavaliers, and it just wasn't working out. I realized I just need to be a bit more offensive in my approach to this map, because there's just so many reinforcements coming. Not as bad as Erica's in terms of like sheer number, but the fact that I can't really manipulate them as well, that's an issue. So now we're just gonna have Soleil come up here and block off this Axe Dragon, take him out of the picture before again he becomes an issue. Even though he couldn't reach Morgan, just baiting him out there, just get him out of the way early. Very helpful. And now the way is clear for us to just launch Morgan over, who again is buffed. Didn't get the defense buff from Klein, but since she's just taking down this little sword fighter here, that's not an issue. Get him off the map. Bam. And this is the one part where Camilla needs the IOT shield. But everyone else needs their slot well, Soleil needs close defense, and Klein needs defense tactic. So Camilla still needed to provide res tactic for Morgan, but we also needed the shield. So I ended up inheriting my, I think my last extra Michaelis for this. I still have one 4-star one, but my last free Michaelis just went to this. So we're going to move Morgan over out of the way of this Bow Cavalier. Camilla will just barely be able to tank it. And now Morgan is in range to give a drive attack boost from her seal to Klein, which just barely gives us enough to take out this Lance Flyer here. And this is why we gotta upgrade all the support seals. They're more useful than they may first appear. Alright, so now the Bow Cavalier comes up, takes a good chunk out of her. Takes some fury damage, but no one cares about that because now Morgan, back in her prime, ready to take him down. Got rid of him. And Klein is likewise going to take out this Lance Flyer with the quad. And now, as I recall, we just want to make sure we're getting our buff for Morgan, and we want Soleil out of the way of this Lance Dragon up in the corner. So we'll move there. And this is where things get a little nuts. First, we're going to send Morgan up to take out the Lance Dragon. Camilla needs to get up here in the corner. And we're just going to make a little box here. And the Red Cavalier is going to attack Soleil, and I can't quite remember why he attacks Soleil instead of Morgan, because I had other ones where I tried changing like the skills around, and he would actually come up and attack Morgan. We've got 48 res. I guess maybe he's just not doing enough damage. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and calculate that, and I don't like doing that because it's not fun. So, first things first, take out the Blue Mage. Thanks to Desperation, doesn't get the chance to do the 2 damage that would seal Morgan's fate. I don't need you highlighted. And now we're able to come down and take this Red Cavalier out. And Klein will finish up this Sword Flyer. And from here, the map is pretty much done. We got through the worst of it. But Lynn's going to come up here. Going to send Soleil in to dish out some damage. Heal herself up. Klein can finish her off. Show her who the best archer is. And now Morgan will just toss Soleil up so that this turn she can just go and finish off the Axe Knight. Again, I don't think we need the Armor Smasher. We probably could have just tanked the Armor Knight. But just make sure we get it in one round and more importantly manipulate those cooldowns. But yeah, so that's that. Got the Gold Spring Bunny Hat. And another round of Abyssal battles cleared. Thank you, as always, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon signing out.